Ned, darling, is that you? Ned, oh, Ned.
Hey.
How can they do this to us?
Like this.
Wait a minute.
We'll be right with you.
We're never gonna make it to the Quartermains this way.
Good.
Oh.
Okay, time out. Lips apart. I'm calling a Gertrude conference.
Now?
He thinks he has a new husband in mind.
Obviously, it's in everyone's best interest that we get Gertrude married as soon as possible.
Yeah, like tonight.
Like sometime last week.
I can't keep up this charade much longer.
Let's get clear on the new strategy before we leave.
Well, spit it out, Ashton. Who's the lucky groom?
Alan?
Why not?
We've already vetoed Alan.
Honey, have you been working too hard?
Alan's married.
He's filthy rich.
He is married.
He comes from a very influential family, and Gertrude happens to like him already.
He's married.
And we can pull off this entire escapade right under grandfather's nose.
He is married.
For the time being, yes. But he and Monica are long overdue for their next divorce, or at least a separation.
Okay, do you believe that Alan is going to split from his wife just because you tell him to?
Oh, that is asking a lot.
Weren't you married to Monica once?
Oh, please. We had an affair, that's it.
What? He had an affair with Monica? Get out.
I didn't know it was Monica. You don't want to hear about this.
Oh, no, I think I do want to hear about this. Don't you want to hear about this?
Yeah, I'd really like to hear about
Yeah.
this. I mean, only if you want to talk about it.
All right, look, I'm sorry I brought it up. The subject is Alan, right? Now, duck if I'm throwing cold water, but why would he even consider it?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even like you.
He'll do it. Trust me.
Well, now the evening is complete.
Edward, such a pleasure.
Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, well, I'm always happy to keep an eye on things.
Come, I'd like to have you meet Amanda right over there.
Oh.
Here, let's go.
I don't believe it.
What is she doing here?
Edward will do anything to sabotage AJ.
It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Dr. Quartermain.
Get us out of here.
I'll think of something.
Dr. Quartermain, hello. Mrs. Quartermain.
Dr. Quartermain.
He certainly is. So how is the new millennium treating you?
Well, it's much better now that you're here.
Oh.
And we're terribly sorry we couldn't spend New Year's Eve with you.
Oh, you're too kind and very understanding. You must be a wonderful doctor.
See? They're flirting already.
There's something wrong with you, Ashton.
I hope Monica's not armed.
She does look a little tense.
Excuse me, but the hospital just beeped us.
I didn't hear anything.
Well, I have it on vibrate. We have to call in.
Vibrate. Well, isn't technology wonderful? Well, don't let me keep you.
We won't.
Lovely to see you.
Not a good sign.
Don't worry.
I'm worried.
Jasper Jacks.
Johann Müller, guten Abend.
Guten Abend, wie geht es Ihnen?
Ja, sehr gut. Und Ihnen?
Sehr gut, danke.
Ja,
Wir haben Sie vermisst bei den Treffen in Brüssel.
Ja, ich befürchte, ich war abgelenkt.
So ich sehe.
Meine Frau, Alexis Davis-Jacks, Johann Müller.
Guten Abend.
How do you do? I'm afraid I'm a bad influence on him.
Mr. Jacks is a member of our board.
I know.
Yes, we've done several deals together.
René? René Lachon?
Ned Ash, nice to see you.
Comment ça va?
My wife, Chloe Morgan.
Enchanté.
Mon plaisir.
Now, how do you say I haven't seen you in ages?
Ça fait des années que je ne t'ai pas vu.
That's right.
Oh, moi, le français très bien.
Where the hell is Carly? She'll be here. Those investors are more interested in Jax and Alexis than they are in EOQ.
I think I realized that.
What the hell are you going to do about it?
Oh, no,
Come on.
relax. So everything...
Yeah, sure.
Did you hear that, Ned? Johann Miss is doing business with you.
Johan, how you been?
Very good, thank you.
But you see, Ned is still very much involved with EOQ. Don't you try to fool him, Ned. He's on the board, and he acts as a consultant.
That's good to know.
Why don't you and AJ give our guests a tour through the caviar?
Well, would you care to join us? Come on.
Thanks, but actually we have to discuss something inside. It's business. Excuse us. Excuse us.
Have you had a chance to go over my proposals?
Oh, there's caviar.
What is this, an ambush?
Where's Monica?
She's talking to the caterers. What do you want?
We have a proposition for you.
Not interested, excuse me.
Alan. It affects AJ.
Why can't you leave AJ alone just for once?
Just hear us out.
You realize that Gertrude is determined to steal my company.
You must forgive me, but Chloe Morgan Designs is not high on my priority list. I don't lose sleep over it.
Which is why you're perfect for the project.
What project?
Gertrude is driving us all crazy.
If she can prove that Ned and I aren't happily married within 1 year of our wedding,
She
then...
gets to take over the company. I'm aware of all that. My father is actually egging her on, so you'll come back to ELQ. You must forgive me, please. I have to go back to the party.
I found a writer in Herbert's will.
If Gertrude gets remarried, she forfeits all rights to Chloe's company.
Yes, and she leaves us alone.
And we can all get back to our own lives.
So what do you want from me? A list of bachelor doctors from the hospital?
Only if you are at the top of the list.
Me.
We want you to marry Gertrude.
I can't wait to tell Monica this. She really does need cheering up.
We aren't kidding.
Of course you're kidding. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Here's the plan. If you marry Gertrude, I promise I will not go back to ELQ. And Junior can keep his job.
Monica to marry Gertrude is beyond out of the question. It is completely absurd.
Grandfather will offer me ELQ. Maybe even tonight. Now, do you want your son to be pushing paper clips for the rest of his life?
You know, I could go out and tell Gertrude about this scheme right now.
I'd lose everything.
And my mother would be devastated.
Is that what you want?
My mother is the only reason I'm going to keep quiet about this. Now, don't push your luck.
I knew that wouldn't work.
That was some hardball.
Yeah, that was nice work, Ned. Yeah, we're sunk.
Am I the only one here who knows how to close a deal? Can I pour you something stronger?
Isn't anyone going to actually leave this party?
Oh, well, we did for a little while.
We've been eavesdropping.
I don't need this.
AJ's got big trouble with this wife of his.
Is he always so observant?
It must have been an awful evening for you, Monica.
It almost looked like Carly wants grandfather to fire him.
If you put Carly up to that stunt...
Of course I didn't. But I can make it better.
Yes, you can. You can leave.
And listen, what if I made sure that AJ keeps his job? What if I agree to turn down ELQ when grandfather offers it to me, which, of course, you know he will?
Does this involve murdering Carly?
Not necessarily.
No, this plan involves no violence whatsoever.
What? A plan?
I can make it go away.
In return for...
All you have to do is divorce Alan.
Straight. You want me to divorce Alan?
That's correct.
So he can marry Gertrude?
Would you like that drink now?
Yes.
Let's face it, Monica. You and Alan have had your moments. I think he's tried to kill you on more than one occasion.
He's not good at it. Well, thank you. Why Gertrude?
Well, they wouldn't have to stay married for very long.
Technically, only for a minute or two.
Yeah, as soon as she says I do, she loses all claim to my company.
And in return, I will stay away from ELQ. Grandfather will just have to suck it up and live with it.
Well, that would be after his heart attack.
You see, you and I have always been on the same wavelength.
Okay, I know this sounds a little far-fetched.
Oh, no, not just far-fetched. It sounds insane.
Let's face it, you and Alan have been long overdue for a breakup.
Well, that's true.
And think about how much fun it would be to get back together again. A little romance. The remarriage of the century. And all the while, knowing that Junior has his job set in stone.
Hi.
You didn't.
How could you possibly imagine me married to Gertrude?
It could work.
You actually want me to divorce you to marry Gertrude?
Well, now, given the circumstances and a little time to think about it, it could be a solution.
How?
Well, it would give AJ something to hold on to when Carly's gone. And you know that marriage is doomed. That's just a matter of time.
Well, I know after Carly's performance this evening, you're absolutely right. But there's got to be some other way to support AJ without tearing our marriage apart.
Okay, any suggestions?
We'll just continue to support him and defend him against Father and all of his enemies.
Here's the deal, Alan. If you refuse, I'll be forced to go to Grandfather with the happy news that I'm ready to come back to ELQ as CEO. Now, do you really think that a few hugs and kisses from Mom and Dad are going to get AJ through that?
AJ's a lot tougher than you think.
It will shatter him.
Do you honestly believe that? Besides, you're bluffing. You don't want to go back to ELQ. You want to stay with the L&B, don't you? I mean, you just got yourself a new office.
There are a lot of people who can run that company in my absence.
Ned is offering you a chance to save your son's job.
AJ is an outstanding CEO. He is creative and capable, and he's going to take that company to places you couldn't even begin to imagine.
Are you certain that Grandfather and the other board members share that opinion? Loyalty is to ELQ. Now, if he thinks he can make another dollar, he will dump AJ like yesterday's coffee grind.
You have stated time and time again you don't want to come back.
What I want, what I desperately need is for you to court and marry Gertrude. And I will do anything to get it.
Don't rule this out completely. It could be a positive solution for all of us.
Monica, excuse me, fake divorces and marriages are not a positive solution for anything.
Well, maybe you could look at it as a temporary inconvenience. The point is, you marrying Gertrude gives everyone what they want. You get to save AJ's job, you protect him from Edward, and I get to hold on to my company.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't your uncle's will say that you could keep the company if you stayed happily married for a year? And you and Ned are married, so why would you need us?
Ned and I are more in love than ever. The problem is, Gertrude refuses to believe it.
She has people spying on us day and night. She followed us to Italy on our honeymoon. She harassed us at the spa we were visiting. At this point, we will do anything to get rid of her.
Yes.
Why don't you take out a restraining order?
Alexis seems to think that would be very difficult. Besides, I do have sympathy for my Aunt Gertrude for losing Uncle Herbert.
Chloe and I, we just want to be alone.
So do I.
Look, Alan, I know this is an unusual request.
Unusual? It is absolutely heartless for me to prey on some unsuspecting widow.
Alan, Gertrude is a piranha in expensive pumps. I promise you, if you didn't have money, she wouldn't acknowledge your existence.
What is to prevent me from telling Gertrude exactly what you're doing?
Well, if you do, I'll be forced to visit Grandfather and get my old job back. And he will bounce AJ on the spot.
Look, I can see there are benefits to this solution, but I've got to consider what a divorce would do to Emily.
I've thought about that, Monica. I think she's old enough to be trusted. We should just tell her everything.
I think Alan and I need to talk privately.
AJ's your son, and he needs you. I don't think the decision should be that hard.
Do you think we were too hard on them?
No. Threats and emotional blackmail are the engines that keep this family running. Anything less would make a dent.
Heartwarming.
Let's go.
Okay.